Well, guys, we are going to cross over that first 100-day mark for Donald Trump's second term this week, and it has been a wild, wild ride. I know it feels like 3 or 4 years already, but man, we are only coming up on 100 days. This second presidency has been much more insane than Donald Trump's first term, and one of the main things that we have been seeing is that Donald Trump spends nearly every single weekend down at one of his own personal properties. He's spent 12 out of the 14 weekends at his own place, and he has spent at least part of 40 days, so almost half of the days that he's been in office, he has spent some time down at Mar-a-Lago or another one of his properties. So basically what we have is a president who comes into Washington, D.C., he sits around a table and pretends like he's king by signing a whole bunch of executive orders. He injects a whole bunch of uncertainty into the country, throws things into chaos, and then he wisps away down to Florida most often, where he can just play golf and relax as the world crumbles around him. It has been an absolute disaster this first 100 days. And then when he's done with these little weekend getaways, he comes back to Washington, D.C., and we always get a news conference of him. Let's go ahead and check out this most recent one. Here Donald Trump is spinning up a string of delusions about how everything is just going great right now, guys. If you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
And we have other things too. You know, we got plenty of problems in the world. You know, when I left 4.5 years ago, I left, and I'll tell you what, we didn't have any of these problems. The good news is costs are way down, groceries are down, eggs are down, gasoline is way down. It's all coming down. It's all looking good. The tariffs are strong. We're taking in a lot of money from tariffs. We were losing a lot before I got here. We were losing billions of dollars a day, and now we're doing great, and we haven't even kicked in yet. And eventually we'll be reducing taxes very substantially for the people of our country, because the money is so great coming in from tariffs that I'll be able to reduce taxes to a very large extent, and maybe almost completely.
We certainly have a delusional president. Obviously, when Donald Trump left office in 2021, things were out of control. We were in the middle of a pandemic that he just botched. Over 1 million Americans died, and he wants to say that, oh, everything was going smoothly, and now everything is going even better because we got the tariffs, we put them on, we put them off, we put them on, we put them off. We're going to make so much money, guys, that we're going to be able to just cut all the income taxes. This dude is insane. He needs to be checked into a mental hospital. I do not know what's going on with this guy, but he is not well. Grocery prices are not down. They are going up. Gas prices have stayed just about the same. They spiked up a little bit, I think, in his second month. Now they're back down to where they were. They're pretty much flat. Egg prices, pretty much the same thing. We saw record high egg prices. Now they're starting to come down a little bit, but they are still higher than when he came into office. Donald Trump just does not live in reality. He has no clue what is going on. He thinks that he can will all of these things into existence. He sits there and lies to the camera every single time he speaks, and he just hopes that you're stupid enough to buy it. Let's go ahead and move on to this one, promising, well, Russia is just 2 weeks away, guys. Just 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Saying 2 weeks about President Putin. What is 2 weeks? Give us, what is the actual date? What is the timeline?
2 weeks or less, and if it's a little more at the time, I say, but you know, they're losing a lot of people. We have 3,000-4,000 people dying every single week. That's a lot of people to lose. You can imagine parents waving from Ukraine and from Russia, waving to their son as he leaves, and, you know, a week later he's dead on a battlefield, all carved up and chopped up. I've seen.
Really eloquent with his words, talking about dead Ukrainian and Russian soldiers. This is what Donald Trump has been saying for what? Ever since he came onto the political scene in 2015, right? 2 weeks, guys. It's going to come in 2 weeks. That healthcare plan, oh, it's going to be there in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. Donald Trump was supposed to end the Russia-Ukraine war before he even got inaugurated. Then he said he was going to end the war on day one. Well, that never happened. Then it changed to, oh, well, maybe the first 100 days, guys, we'll be able to get that war situated. And now we're coming up on that 100-day mark, and here he is again, 2 weeks, guys. Just another 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Just 2 weeks. Donald Trump has no clue what he's doing. It's becoming more and more clear that this administration is not going to be able to get Russia where they need to be to actually come to some sort of agreement. And we even had Marco Rubio last week pretty much saying that, well, if they don't come to the table soon, then we're just going to have to give up. That is what this administration is doing. So Donald Trump just has no clue what is going on. And then listen to kind of how he talks about the Russia-Ukraine war right here. I just found it a little bit interesting.
Is your relationship with President Zelensky better now that things were in the Oval Office?
It was never bad. We had a little dispute because I disagreed with something he said, and the cameras were rolling, and that was okay with me. But we had a dispute. But look, he's in a tough situation, very tough situation. He's fighting a much bigger force, much bigger, and that force has not been very distinguished. You know, it's been a lot tougher than they thought, but it helped them when we gave them $350 billion worth of weapons or cash.
So do you guys know what Donald Trump's talking about here? Who had the bigger war machine? Who had the bigger arm? Who was really the underdog here? Because the whole narrative when Russia rolled across Ukraine's borders was that, oh man, they were going to go ahead and take Kyiv in 2 weeks, I think it was. And Ukraine has been putting up a solid fight ever since. And then, again, he just has no clue what he is talking about. We should be backing up our allies. And as I just said, it is becoming more and more clear that Putin is just taking Donald Trump on a wild ride, while Trump just likes to sit here and tweet or do whatever he says. Oh, well, we're really coming to some sort of deal. Putin's not going to do that. And then he strikes another population center. Donald Trump is getting played. He said he was going to have this war ended. And again, it just feels like more and more, every time he talks about this conflict, is that he's siding with Russia, right? It was Russia who started this war. It is Russia who rolled across their border and tried to take over a sovereign territory. And Ukraine is the one that stood up and is fighting back against the tyrannical aggressor. And they are doing an excellent job. And we should be here as the United States of America, as somebody who supports democracy and our allies. We should be providing them the support they need to continue fighting if Russia is not going to come to the table and be a good faith negotiating partner. But we have Donald Trump, who's pretty much in Putin's pocket at this point. Here he goes on to say that, well, this isn't my fault, guys. This is Biden's war.
So don't talk to me about Crimea. Talk to Obama and Biden about Crimea.
I was just wondering what Zelensky's thought.
And remember, this is Biden's war. This isn't Trump's war. I came in to try and solve a problem. And the problem is so many people are being killed. By the way, Saquon, what a great guy. You see the conditioning. His conditioning is pretty good. Better than you, better than me.
Again, is Donald Trump okay? I know he's going to take every chance he can get to blame everything that he can on Biden, but you're supposed to be talking about the Russia-Ukraine war, and then all of a sudden you're talking about Saquon, which is, I think, a football player who was traveling with him, about how good a shape he's in. I mean, Donald Trump is not well. He has absolutely no idea what is going on. The war between Russia and Ukraine is continuing. Donald Trump is trying to extort Ukraine, trying to get some of their mineral rights as some sort of negotiating tactic to maybe sometime in the future, maybe we'll provide them with more aid. I mean, it has been an absolute disaster. Donald Trump is an old, unwell man, and he has absolutely no idea what is going on. Here he is talking again about the income taxes and the tariffs.
We're going to be taking in a tremendous amount of money. We're going to be taking in a lot of jobs, a lot of plants and factories. They're already coming. I mean, you see it. And we're going to make a lot of money, and we're going to cut taxes for the people of this country. It'll take a little while before we do that. But we're going to be cutting taxes, and it's possible we'll do a complete tax cut, because I think the tariffs will be enough to cut all of the income tax. Now, we have a lot of debt that's been left to us, unfortunately, over many years. We'll take care of that. But the tariffs, if people only understood the tariffs, we're going to be giving people of this country a tremendous tax cut. And we're going to start with people making less than $200,000 a year.
Nobody understands the tariffs yet, guys. Everybody just needs to take a minute and actually try to understand them. They'll get it. They'll get it. We're going to do big tax cuts because the tariffs, they're going to be just so fantastic for the country. Again, has this guy not learned his lesson? He put them on again. He put them off again. He put them on again. He put them paused. It has been a disaster. The markets do not like the tariffs. And to think that you are going to generate enough revenue in tariffs to just totally do away with the income taxes is an absolutely ludicrous idea. Donald Trump is a stupid person. And just remember, tariffs are paid by the company that imports the goods, and then those companies, they take that cost and they put it off to the consumers, right? So even if you were to get rid of your income taxes, all of those tariffs are going to be paid by the American consumers. And do you know who that hurts the most? It's the poorer people and the middle class people who, as a proportion of their income, spend more on the things that they actually need day to day. So it would be an absolutely regressive tax. It would be a disaster, but it's just an insane idea all the way around. And Donald Trump proves, just yet again, that he doesn't understand how these things work. He just doesn't understand what a trade deficit is, how the tariffs actually work, who actually pays the tariffs, because he is still hammering on this idea, even though our stock markets have been crashing, the uncertainty in our markets has been through the roof, and consumer sentiment is degrading like we haven't seen since, I think, the Great Depression. It is an absolute disaster. Here he is talking about, well, of course, China, well, they want to make a deal with us, guys.
Any movement on China? Because they're trying to get a little bit. Look, a little bit. They want to make a deal, obviously. Right now, they're not doing business with us. You know, people talk about going cold turkey with China, meaning just forget about it. We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year with China, and now they're not doing any business with us, you know, not because of them, because of me. Because at 145%, you can't do business. But something's going to happen that's going to be positive.
Donald Trump is a stupid person. Again, thinking that trade deficits are somehow us losing out on hundreds of billions of dollars, or it's us subsidizing other countries because we have trade deficits, these are the rantings and ravings of a lunatic. Trade deficits are not inherently bad. And he keeps on saying that, of course, China wants to make a deal. Of course they do. We've been on the phone. We've been having discussions. And then China comes out and says, yeah, that's not true. Donald Trump, he's just full of shit. And because Donald Trump has blown any credibility that he may have had, people are more likely now to trust what China's representatives say versus Donald Trump. The Chinese are what? Are they coming to Donald Trump on their knees to try to work a deal? Or are they ones who have a little bit more tolerance for the pain? I mean, come on. Donald Trump has put our country in a disastrous position. He raised up tariffs on China to 145%. We are seeing small businesses getting devastated. We are seeing medium-sized businesses getting devastated. And this is all because Donald Trump has an elementary understanding of how these things work. It's been a disaster. That's all we can say, guys. It's been a disaster. So we will come up on that 100-day mark this week. We will come up on that 100-day mark. It has been marked by a whole bunch of chaos, a whole bunch of incompetence, a whole bunch of corruption. We have Donald Trump, who flies down to his properties nearly every single weekend. He has spent almost half of the time in office now, down on his properties in some way or the other. He's costing the taxpayers money. He comes into Washington, D.C., he makes a mess of everything, and then he flies back home while the world crumbles. So that's where we are, guys. We are nearly 100 days in, and we got a whole lot of days to go. So I will leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We are trying to build something here on the left that adequately pushes back against the right-wing media ecosystem that just shovels this kind of crap for Donald Trump every single day. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to hit that subscribe button. It is free. And if you guys want to see how Donald Trump's polling is falling off of a cliff right now, please do watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.